Ooh, welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back with you. Episode 243 coming your way. Before we get into that, if you don't mind, with my great appreciation, because as you know, thank you, because I appreciate all your watches, your listening, your support. If you don't mind giving me a little support and hitting that like button, that follow button, that subscribe button, that share button, letting people know Ole Walls House is the place to be, I would greatly appreciate that. Fun show coming this week. We got week 3 of our 4-week NFL preview series. MJ is back with me. We head to the West, the NFC and AFC West, to break it all down. I also will give you my passing thoughts, so fun stuff in that to come. Rolled into the passing thoughts will be my Cleveland Guardians and some baseball stuff. So without any further... Oh, don't let me forget about the merch shop. You can find in our merch shop in the show notes below some sweet hats and other gear for both the Ole Walls House pod and MJ's The Full Range pod. So don't forget to check that out, and don't forget to check out MJ over at the Full Range Pod on Spotify and Apple, and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. Now, without any further ado, let's get into it. He's back, and he's not the only guy sleeveless today. I'm joining you, MJ. What's happening, buddy?
Well, nothing much, man. It's a good day to talk some football. I'm excited to be back for the NFL preview, week 3 now. And how have you been, man? How's everything going? I like the sleeveless look. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I was just, it's a nice, beautiful day here. I was just rocking sleeveless, and I was like, I'll go throw on an OWH shirt. I'm like, no, you know what? MJ's going to be sleeveless coming in here.
You're damn
I'm
right.
I'm not gonna leave him being alone that way,
dude. I just had a thought today, where we're recording this a day or two before it'll come out, but I was going outside and I almost put a t-shirt on because it's sunny out today, but there's some wind around and everything. And I'm like, well, I'm going to a sporting event for my daughter and stuff, and I should wear some Tawanda colors. And so I was going to put on a t-shirt. I even put it in the bathroom for when I was done in the shower. And I got out of the shower, dried off, and I was like, I looked at that t-shirt and I was like, how am I going to do this when school starts? I'm going to have to be in polos and pants every day. Dude, it's shorts and cutoffs for me 99.9% of the time in the summer. And it's a legit anger moment for me thinking about going back to school and having to wear pants, having to wear a collared shirt. I'm dreading it. It's going to be terrible.
I work from home, so every day is just shorts, t-shirt, in the winter it's sweatpants, sweatshirt. And then I'll go out and travel and be like, oh, I gotta put on jeans or a pair of khakis and a polo or a button down. And I've got this thing coming up, the World Dairy Expo at the end of the month, where I'm gonna be there every day of the week. And I'm like, do I have work polos for 5 straight days? I'm like, I have golf polos that I can wear. Yeah. Do I have work polos? Dude, for 5 straight days of stuff? And I'm like, I don't know that I do anymore.
Dude, summertime is so awesome for me too. Laundry is so easy. I wear the same 6 or 7 pairs of shorts. They have built-in underwear. So I don't have any underwear to clean or anything like that. I wear about the same amount of socks, and then I have about 8 or so different colored cutoffs. And it just rotates of different color combinations and everything. It's awesome, dude. I wish I could do this for work. Just cut off shorts, leave me alone.
Try it out one time. Just see how it goes.
I don't know. Year 15 or year 14, man. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers.
Year 20 gets it. We're good to go. We can try it.
Maybe. I will say though, before we get into the football stuff, any chance that I have to I can wear shorts to work or something, if we have a spirit week and it's wear clothes you're on vacation or on a desert island, shorts. That's my first thought. I'm like, yes, I get to wear shorts today. I still wear a t-shirt, but anytime I can find a way.
I love it. It's awesome. All right, man. Let's talk some football. What do you say? We head west today, MJ.
Yes.
I'm gonna give it to you to decide what conference you want to start with, whether you want the AFC West or the NFC West.
These are both great conferences, man.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. This was probably the most fun of the week so far to prepare for. It's just like I think let's just go AFC since that's fine with me. But man, just overall, it was kind of cool, like the parallels that I saw in a lot of these teams too. The Raiders and Cardinals remind me a lot of each other. New head coaches, rookie or young quarterbacks with some veteran leadership. The Raiders with Mendoza, number 1 overall, but bring in Kirk Cousins. The Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett, but they also drafted Carson Beck. So like very new, like I said, new head coaches, a lot of changes through free agency for both of those teams. And then you really get some heavy hitters, some really, really good defenses on both sides, Super Bowl contenders all over the place out west. So this one's a fun one to talk about this week.
Yeah, I mean, some teams that dealt with like some injury. We did say AFC, right? I'm not going crazy.
AFC, yep.
Okay. I for a second I was like, wait, we're talking about the AFC, right? I just like lost my complete train of thought. Yeah, and like teams who dealt with some like injuries at bad times,
yep.
Like obviously Bo Nix goes down in the playoffs and can't play in the conference championship game. Pat Mahomes, obviously. The Raiders were banged up with Crosby and Brock Bowers, and so like. I think the Chargers lost. Didn't they lose one of their better offensive linemen at one point throughout the year? I think I had that. Rashawn Slater maybe got hurt for a while. Yep. Yeah. And Joe Alt. Joe Alt was who I was thinking of. So like all of these teams had a lot of like injury issues for some teams that played some very good football in the Broncos and the Chargers. And then it's hard to the Chiefs were without the best quarterback in football.
Yep.
So, it hurts them. Now the Raiders, they stink. But anyway.
A lot of changes though there. So
yeah.
All right. Well, let's start right there.
Oh, I have one more thing. We gotta figure this stuff out with Mike LaFleur, as this is obviously NFC, but it's like on the top of my head right now. We got to figure out this stuff with Mike LaFleur and Jeremiah Love. Because I saw a tweet like a couple weeks ago, like Coach LaFleur says Love dealing with some nagging injuries. And I'm like, what? What is happening? What did I miss?
Oh, no.
And it was Mike LaFleur talking about Jeremiah Love.
Oh.
And somebody then was like, oh, we'll clarify. We'll put M. LaFleur talks about J. Love. And it's like, no, the funny joke, but that's not going to do it.
Yeah. Jesus, dude. I didn't even think of that, really.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy though. But
anyway, I just wanted to get that in while I was thinking about it, so I didn't forget it when we went over to the NFC.
Yeah, no, you're fine. That'll be next week, man. Fuck it. Oh, we're so close, Wally. We're so close, dude. All right. Well, I mean, I don't think it'd be any surprise, like just jumping into the Raiders here. I do have the Raiders finishing last in this division in the AFC West. Like I mentioned, like kind of before, like just talking about both West divisions, a lot of changes for the Raiders, and I kind of mentioned that with the Cardinals. New head coach, Kirk Cousins kind of being, the veteran coming in, expected to start, but you draft the number 1 draft pick in Fernando Mendoza. They had spent a lot in free agency. This is one team that was actually really busy, especially on the defensive side of the ball, especially after the Max Crosby thing kind of went through and then it didn't. They brought in Kobe Dean and Quay Walker, I think, from your Packers there.
He stinks.
So like Kwity Paye's there now. They spent some money, and then they bring in Max Crosby kind of back because of the trade thing going down the way it did. I like looking at this roster. I like what the Raiders are doing. as a franchise. I think it's important they've kind of built up some offensive line depth. They have young, good players on the defense, kind of surrounded by the occasional veteran here and there. They have a young running back who still has 3 or 4 years on a rookie deal. They have an elite tight end with Brock Bowers, and they're trying to find their quarterback. And maybe they have in Mendoza. I think there's going to be some, I don't want to say drama, because I don't think there's going to be much. I think the Raiders aren't going to be very good. I have them finishing 5-12. I think you're going to see Mendoza at some point, if that's the way it goes for the Raiders.
Now, I would be hard-pressed that by week 8 he's not starting.
Yeah. Like, if Kirk Cousins comes out and just balls out and just gets this team kind of way ahead of the curve, you never know. But at some point you have to think that Mendoza is going to find his way out in the field. And, it can go either way when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, and teams can overperform with a rookie quarterback and sometimes they underperform. But I think the likelihood of them being bad, especially with the 7th hardest schedule in the league or so, I don't find a lot of things here where I'm like, this team could be sneaky good, but I just can't see them being a true contender in the league, mostly due to how tough this division is, the AFC powers that they're going to have to play, and just being kind of a guessing game at the quarterback position.
And the wide receiver room is, Jalen Naylor is like their best receiver. Brock Bowers is awesome if he stays healthy, but like that receiver room's not inspiring a lot of confidence, I don't think.
Yeah. This could
I do think they're, I don't want to say it's like it's gonna be an issue, but like it's got the possibility, like Max Crosby could become an issue.
Yes.
Like there was already stuff that like him and Kirk Cousins were getting into it, like in camp, because he was being a dick. And like
he hit Kirk
hitting quarterbacks. It's like to piss off. It feels like Kirk Cousins is a tough guy to piss off.
You're probably right. That old veteran Kirk Cousins kind of just been around the block. Like, stop fucking hitting me in practice. I'm wearing a red jersey for a goddamn, like that kind of stuff. Max Crosby's been known to like ruffle some feathers.
Yeah.
Like he has that kind of not legendary story, but when Gruden was the head coach for the Raiders and Crosby kept batting down balls in practice, and Gruden went off on Crosby for knocking down so many passes at the line of scrimmage. And he was like, don't fucking do it again, basically. So Crosby went out there and did it again. And he kicked Crosby like off to the side in practice. Like, you're not practicing anymore. My offense can't get any reps because you keep being an elite player. Kind of weird, but like, he's not afraid to ruffle some feathers. Yeah. And who knows, maybe by the time we release this podcast or next week when we're talking, maybe Crosby will be in a different uniform.
Yeah. I mean, there's still rumors think it's out possible. There. Yeah.
Yeah. Or mid-season, this could be a different looking team as well. If they really falter, like I think they could, maybe they just decide, hey, let's load up on this draft class. Let's go get Jeremiah Smith for a young quarterback, Fernando Mendoza with a top 5 pick. And you might have 2 or 3 first rounders next year. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting. I just wonder with Crosby, and like he was traded to, Baltimore, and then it all fell through because of the physical.
Yep.
And it was all a whole weird thing with that. And like you said, this team's going to be bad. The quarterbacks are kind of dweebs. Like,
yeah, man, Fernando makes me fucking laugh though, dude.
He does. No. He's like a dweebier white version of Jameis.
It's incredible. I love it, dude. And I don't hate what Indiana did, but at the same time, you can't like really hate Indiana at this point. Yeah. Maybe if they just create a dynasty, maybe as Big Ten fans, we won't like them as much then. But like Mendoza is just, man, he's a different dude.
Yeah.
Different dude.
I think it's like authentic though. Like
I think so too.
I don't like. I hate it when it's like though. Like there's someone doing it and they're like, "Oh yeah, thanks, man. Like really appreciate it." It's like okay, like I get it. I get what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like with Mendoza, I'm like, I just think that's him.
Yeah. All glory to God. My teammates, I just can't say enough about it. And he's like crying and he's so happy. And
oh gosh, he's awesome. I hope we get so many clips. Like I think he just needs to start playing so we can get like post game like reactions.
You had to have seen I think it was after their first preseason game when he was talking about his experience and all that stuff like after. And then he even had an interview after a joint practice. I think it was against the Rams. And he was just like, I learned a lot today. Like he just was like, it was, oh man, you can't even like replicate it. Like no. It's just, he's one of one.
Yeah. With a hint of tism in there too.
Yeah. There's something there.
All right. Okay. I don't know how to transition and segue out of that. Who do we got next?
So a little bit of a surprise here, I think. And I've basically had one per week the last 2 weeks where I've basically said I could be really wrong. Texans last week I could be really wrong about, and so on and so forth. I have the Denver Broncos finishing third in this division. I have them going 10-7, but you want to talk about tough schedules, man. I think this team's built to last, especially with the defense and some of the offensive weapons they brought in. The Waddle trade could be really, really good for the Broncos. And I think that move to me was Sean Payton and the Broncos saying, we're all in. Like we were so close last year. Let's go after it. They have talent at all levels of the defense. I've kind of 3 questions when I was looking at the Broncos. Will Bo Nix continue to progress under Sean Payton? That's a big if. There's sometimes those second, third year players will kind of level out, maybe come back down to earth a little bit. So that's a question. I also think, how does he come back from being banged up at the end of last year? Because sometimes all of a sudden an injury lingers or gets, re-hurt or something early in the season, and it just, will extend kind of the lingering pain throughout the season. I also am a little worried about their running back room. Where does the consistency come from there? You got RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins, who can never stay healthy. The 4th-round pick, Jonah Coleman from Washington, I absolutely love. You might end up seeing him on the field. And then my last one is, can they survive so many of these 50-50 games where they're going to go into a lot of these games as 2.5-point underdogs, 2.5-point favorites, a field goal. Maybe it's a 50-50, 1-point spread type thing. And those are the things that can kind of bother or that kind of worry me. But just listen to this, Wally. Chiefs at the Chiefs versus the Jags.
Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right now. It's absurd.
At the Niners, at the Chargers versus the Seahawks, at the Cardinals. Never know.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the Chiefs, and then at the Panthers before their bye week.
Yeah.
Like, they could legitimately have 3 wins after those games. So that's the part that really worries me, because they're going to be
brutal till the bye week. There's like a stretch coming out of the bye week where it's like, okay, you can kind of rattle some off. It's like Raiders twice, Steelers, Dolphins, Jets. But then like it finishes and it's like Bills, Pats, Chargers.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord. Like, there's a 5-week stretch. They have to go like 5-0 in that stretch.
Yeah. And I do think, like I have in my notes, that I think they could have that run at the end of the season of like, oh, here come the Broncos. You don't want to let the Broncos get into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Defense is playing well. Maybe Bo Nix gets it going a little bit more against some teams that they should be beating, and, all these different things. But I am worried about their first half of their schedule so much. I still think they're really, really good. I just have them just out of the playoffs, actually, in the AFC this year, which is, I think, a little bit of a surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable, though. Like, that schedule. Like, I just look at that schedule, and it's like, oh. I mean,
now listen,
great defense. Bo Nix looked awesome last year. Yep. Like you said, can he make the next step? Jalen Waddle, nice addition, but like, oofta.
Now, listen, if they're 6-3 after those first 9 games,
let's go.
They're going to be fighting for a number 1 seed in the AFC.
Because then you're like, oh yeah, now we're going to get 4 of the next 5.
Yeah,
now we're 10-4.
Yep. And then all they got to do is maybe split the last 2, or they might even win them. And you could see this. I can see this team easily being a 12 or 13 win team this year.
Yep.
Man, but I do worry about some of these AFC teams though, because
and here's a
of
stat
how.
For you.
Yeah, go ahead.
11-3 in 1-score games last year.
Yeah, that's why I said the 50-50 games. That's one of my questions this year. Is just
you generally don't do that back-to-back years.
Yeah. And maybe they got better. Maybe they're going to clear that more. It's just, to me, with the schedule and how rough it starts, like, do you survive all these games healthy? Those are some physical teams. The Jags or Rams are going to be physical. We know what we get with the 49ers every year. You got the Harbaugh-led Chargers in this division that you got to play. They're going to be physical. You're taking on a Seattle team who prides themselves on physicality. I think there was a stat last year where teams coming off of the week they played Seattle were like 1-10 or something, like midway through the season. And a lot of it, like the Seahawks lost a couple games, but just the physicality of that game seemed to carry over to the next week. And I do worry about that a little bit with the Broncos, but they do have the defense to withstand some of this. And I do have them kind of right on that edge of making the playoffs. And, next week when we go over things, I'll kind of finalize my playoff stuff after a couple more preseason games and stuff, and we'll talk more about that. But as of right now, I have them 10-7 just out of the playoffs.
I brought up a stat that like kind of works against them, and I'm going to bring one that I think really works for them. Of their starters, I think they're returning 20 of 22.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yes, it is. A lot of continuity.
Yep. I was about to butcher that word. I was about to say it completely differently. So thank you for saying it.
You got it, buddy.
All right. Woo. Now we got a decision. Do we have the Chiefs coming back hard, or do we got the Chargers kind of getting over the edge here, MJ?
I got the team with some age questions for me, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I actually have them with the same record right now as I do the Broncos. And here's why age is my question for the Chiefs. You have veterans like Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, all those dudes, right, that have been around the block, it seems like, for the last decade with the Chiefs and all these things. But they also have some really young pieces that need to play well if the Chiefs are going to be contenders again. You got Peter Woods, the backup defensive tackle / starter from Clemson, Mansour Delane, who they just drafted in the top 10, I think at pick 9. Like, losing some of the pieces they did on the defensive side of the ball, and to me, some of their average skill positions on offense, but also their elite players on offense with some injury history. These young guys that are coming into a starting lineup for the Chiefs have to play well for the Chiefs to be in this position. I believe in Mansour Delane. I believe in Peter Woods. I believe in Chris Jones as one of the most underrated at times defensive players in the league. Mm-hmm. My big thing is just the age. The older guys got to play well and continue to, and the young guys have to step up relatively quickly for this team. But I keep coming back to, I just can't deny Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to miss the playoffs again. I just, it's hard for me to not put them near the top of this division because they seem like, those gnats in the summertime, man. They just don't go away. You can light off all your candles and all that stuff, but they just keep coming, type of thing. So that to me is, a little bit of the age issue, injury history for some of these guys. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy's already banged up a little bit. Those guys got to stay healthy. But I think they will, and I think they'll find some ways to win some games the Patrick Mahomes way. I think it's kind of a little bit of a bounce back year for the Chiefs here.
Yeah, I think just some big questions are essentially a totally new defensive secondary.
Yeah.
I think they retained one of their safeties. Like you said, the age thing, it's like, man, like these, like dynasties usually don't end well.
No.
Like they don't go out on a happy note very often. Like they usually, and even if there's like a revamp to them and they come kind of crawling back and regain, their place in atop the world, it usually gets pretty ugly in the interim. Like it's not all the Patriots where even though they don't win Super Bowls for 10 years, that they're still winning divisions and in the playoffs and all that stuff. Like it gets bad. Like,
yeah,
you either have to dump everybody before they age out, or people start to age out and injury issues and all that stuff. And Mahomes coming back from ACL, and I think it was LCL. Like that's a big question for a guy who uses his feet to move around the pocket, kind of scramble around, give people time to get open downfield, for Kelsey to do kind of his, little route magic and find little holes in the defense. And Travis Kelsey's getting old, and all this stuff, like it's all stacked against them, but it's like, I'm not betting against them. Like they are the Chiefs until they aren't. Like, so it's like, I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth here, but it's like, I'm not writing them off.
I think the biggest thing that we're trying to say is, I think we just believe in, we know what they're going to get from quarterbacks, but at the same time, you have that like safety net in the back of your mind. They have an elite coach.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid doesn't have extended periods of time where they're bad. His teams are never bad for long. It might be an occasional year or so, but the guy goes places and they just win. And like, that's kind of where I kept falling back to. I'm like, is Andy Reid really going to let this team, led by one of the best quarterbacks in the world, not make the playoffs again? Like, and maybe that's ignorant of me to think that way. I think their toughest stretch is like Thanksgiving and on, where they're at the Bills, Rams, Bengals, Pats, Niners, Chargers. If they can survive that little month there or so, like 10 wins to me for this Chiefs team isn't out of the question. I think a big question for me that making the playoffs is, do the Chargers or the Broncos fall back a little bit? If the Broncos, like we talked about, kind of that 50-50 team where I think maybe they slide back a little bit, or the Chargers do the same, then it's going to make it really difficult for the Chiefs. But I do think the Chiefs are set up a little bit better schedule-wise in the coaching aspect of it to have a bounce-back year.
Yep. Couple things on Andy Reid and the Chiefs. They went 1-9 in one-score games last year. So, again, law of averages is working in their favor this time.
Yep.
They had won like 12. They went like 12-0 the year before, oddly enough. But Andy Reid has had 3 career losing seasons. He's been a head football coach in the NFL since 1999. He's had 3 losing seasons. None of them back-to-back. Last year was his first time with the Chiefs that he had one, and it took his star quarterback going down. And these guys were just in 5 of 6 Super Bowls from 19 to 24. I'll give him some grace.
Yeah, I'm going to too. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't have the horses and things don't go your way.
Yeah. 18-8 in the playoffs for Andy Reid, just at Kansas City. 28-17 overall. 62% win percentage.
It's insane.
In the playoffs.
It made me very happy when the Eagles let him walk.
Yeah.
It did.
He just never had the dude.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, he made Donovan McNabb quite the player in the league,
to
be honest with you.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so that leaves us the Chargers in the one spot.
It does. Man, I glaze over them, I feel like, every year. And like they've had some major changes. Like if you're like listening to this show and you've listened to me blab on this show before about NFL teams, the Chargers fit everything that I sometimes don't love. Lots of changes, new offensive coach, a lot of players left. Then they had to, free agency or the draft, they had to add guys. I kind of just think this team is just going to be really good. And I almost trust this team the most out of all this division, in a way. The Broncos are kind of right there where I think they could be really good too. And the Chiefs have a lot of question marks, but like, I just trust the Chargers, and I like the addition of Mike McDaniels as their offensive coordinator. I think that's going to free up. I still think they're going to be really balanced, but I think they're going to have some more explosive plays. Their defense is solid all over the place. And to me, it's one of the deeper teams. I think Harbaugh and company have done a really good job just building out the team inside out. Regardless if they lost guys in free agency or anything, like they've replaced guys with depth. And like I know they don't have big wow factors when it comes to running backs and wide receivers, but they're all really good, and they have multiple guys in those positions that can beat you. And I have them winning 12 games this year. I think it's going to be a really good year in Los Angeles. I don't know how the playoffs will go for them. My biggest thing with the Chargers overall, though, is can they pressure the quarterback? I think the Owe defensive, the edge player who went to the Commanders, could be a really big loss for them. So I do worry about them pressuring, but I think they're going to be good at stopping the run. I think they're good enough in the secondary. I like the Chargers. This could be bad, but I like the Chargers this year. I really do.
I feel like this has been a thing with the Chargers for 10, 11, 12 years. We're like,
yeah,
talented, good quarterback. Now they got a coach to go with them, and Harbaugh, who's like proven he can be a winner. I am a huge Mike McDaniel fan. I don't know if it's just because like I find him funny. Yeah. And like the stories you hear about him and like that kind of stuff, but like he did good things with the Miami Dolphins offense.
Yes, he did.
And
he just didn't have a quarterback.
He didn't have a quarterback either. Like we were talking about other guys too that were like, this guy should just be a coordinator. Like the head coach thing isn't for him. I forget it was somebody last week.
It was Brian Daboll.
There you go. That's the one. And it's like, maybe Mike McDaniel should just be a coordinator. Like maybe that fits his personality better.
Yeah.
And if maybe he's the little whisperer that puts Herbert over the edge, because Herbert has every tool you could want for a quarterback. Like if you draw up a quarterback in a lab, it doesn't look a whole lot different than what Justin Herbert looks like. Size, strength, arm talent, mobile enough. Like he's got all like the tools. It's just like, can he put it together and can he step up and take the next step? Which is something I think we've all been waiting we've all been waiting for from him. And he's been in the league a little longer than I think, you realize when you think back at him. Like he came into the league, he got drafted in 2020. We're in year 6 now for him.
Yep.
So like it's time. Like this is your time to show up and be somebody. And I don't know. Maybe it is. I think my biggest question is they lose Jesse Minter, the D coordinator who's with the Ravens now. It's like, what does that look like? They added the edge guy. What's his name? Mesidor, who I think you were high on.
Yep. Like, from Miami.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, that's probably the questions for me is that side of the ball. But I don't know. The upside seems to be high.
I mean, like I have a list of like teams or players that they brought in and players that left. Like, for instance, I'll give you one. Bradley Bozeman, their center from last year, retired, right? They bring in Tyler Linderbaum and Tyler Biadasz, a former Cowboy. Like, Linderbaum's one of the best centers in the league, and Biadasz has been a starter, like, in this league for multiple years, whether it be in Dallas or I think it was Washington for a year or two. They bring in David Njoku.
Here's the thing.
But lost Will Dissly. Like, to me, it's like they've kind of just found ways to, like, all right, we lost this player. Well, now we're just bringing in this one. And, like, if there is a side of the ball, I know you kind of worried about the defensive coordinator thing. Like, I think Harbaugh is a guy where you can kind of say, like, he's going to get the defense right. Like, I trust his take on finding another defensive coordinator that he likes, values the same things, and they're going to be solid, I think. And I think they have, again, some of the best depth in this division, and that's kind of why I put them at the top.
Yep. The center thing was a good one. I saw this stat. Their old center, Bradley Bozeman, finished 40th among 40 qualifying centers in PFF grade. Biadasz was a top 10 rank in PFF. Now, granted, don't take PFF, and be like, that's the end all be all, but it's a tool to be used. So, All right. AFC, the Chargers, the Kings of the AFC West.
Yeah. I had to take some chances here.
MJ likes that prediction almost as much as he likes predicting that his Cowboys are going 17-0.
No.
All right. Speaking of NFC teams, let's head on over there to the NFC West, MJ.
Let's do it. All right. Well, I'm sure you, again, can guess who I have here at the bottom of this division. It is the Arizona Cardinals. I am worried about the Cardinals. I really am, man. I'm like, again, a little bit of a Raiders feel here. New coach, a lot of new coordinators and all these different things, and some veteran quarterback play with some young quarterbacks behind him. Just really Carson Beck, because Gardner Minshew's been around forever. But like, the Cardinals have one of the toughest schedules in the league, and that's not good for them. Like, I get the Jeremiah Love pick, which I like. You get a young running back. You still got Trey McBride. They're the Raiders of the NFC. Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, Jeremiah Love, Trey McBride. Questions a little bit at quarterback. I do think they're better set at wide receiver with Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. And I know Harrison Jr. has been getting a lot of hate for, like, dropping balls and stuff. I think he's going to be okay. Maybe he's not going to be the next coming of God to the NFL, but he's going to, I do believe in Harrison Jr. to bounce back a little bit.
The jury's out on him in my mind right now. We need to see something.
Yes. Jacoby Brissett, man, God love him, because he's had some times in this league where he looked like he could be a very valuable low-end starter. Flashes of maybe average to above average quarterback play. But the consistency has been inconsistent.
Non-existent.
Yeah. And I think Minshew's a very serviceable backup in this league.
I will say one thing about Jacoby Brissett. He loves him some Trey McBride in the red zone.
Yeah.
So if you're expecting Jacoby Brissett to be the starter for a while, Trey McBride in your fantasy drafts, get all over it.
I mean, rightfully.
And one other fantasy note, I've heard from sources, Jeremiah Love is a great pick for dynasty fantasy drafts.
It's true.
Just throwing that out there.
I have heard that. But anyway,
well sourced.
Like, Gardner Minshew's a very serviceable backup. But that's it. Like, he's a backup quarterback. And then do you go with Carson Beck as a rookie? If you do, I think at that point you're kind of saying, like, the season's kind of over with a little bit. Like, we're just kind of packing it in, let him get his reps, and maybe he's showing us something.
He looked good in the Hall of Fame game. I haven't seen any other preseason stuff from him, but
I just played the other night against the Cowboys, I think, a little bit. I think he played okay, if I remember right. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, but I just, man, it's really hard for me to love this team. There hasn't been a lot of big overhauls with departures or additions. I think that their draft went halfway decent. I just don't think they're there.
They're just not very good.
No.
Like, there's sometimes we can say a lot of different stuff about all sorts of different things, and when it comes down to it, this team's just okay.
Yeah.
And they don't have a quarterback, and their wide receivers, Michael Wilson made a nice step last year, and maybe he could turn into something, but I don't know, they just don't have the horses.
I mean, their best players, they do have good edge rushers. I like Josh Sweat, and Zaven Collins, and I like the Will Johnson kid from Michigan in secondary. Buda Baker's, been around the block or two and has been a good player in the league. They're just, to me, they're not deep. They got questions at the most important position. They're young. They're going to lose a lot of games. I have them finishing 4-12.
Yeah, that's probably generous too, I would say.
It could be. They'll beat somebody that they shouldn't.
They will. They do this shit too. Yeah. It's like
last year they beat the shit out of the Cowboys and they were bad. So
you got this thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna run a little teaser. It's like, oh, we can tease the 49ers down to 2. Just give them 2 against the Cardinals. And you're like, let's go. And that's the last thing because it's the afternoon slate.
Yep.
It's those 4:30 games, and then you're cooking. You're rolling right through. You're like, I got this going. And next thing you know, it's the start of the fourth quarter. And it's like, oh, the 49ers are down 9.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's like, oh, wait, shit. They're going to score 10 more points in the fourth quarter and win by 1 point and completely fuck me.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just lose.
You know what, though, man? I can't wait for that either. That excites me a little bit.
I mean, I hope you're the exact same way I am. Yes. If I pick a team and they need to cover, especially if it's a bigger spread, and then they're losing, I start rooting against them so fast. I'm like, you guys better at least lose. You might as well lose if I'm going to lose this bet. I don't want to see you win by 3 and
100%.
Eke this out.
Yep. The Chiefs would do that to me all the time. They come from behind wins.
Yeah.
And shit. Oh, God. Makes me sick. Wouldn't cover, but they won the goddamn game.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's next?
I got the San Francisco 49ers here.
Yeah.
I do. To me, man, I love the Mike Evans thing.
I was going to say, nice pickup and grabbing, maybe some tail end Mike Evans for you.
God, man, they needed it at this point. I just feel their most consistent receiver the last couple of years has been Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
And it's because, when Deebo Samuel was there, which he's back, but he got hurt. Brandon Ayuk is just a different cat. He's got a little AB in him, I think, man.
Yeah.
But even George Kittle, man, they don't finish seasons. Christian McCaffrey's a superstar, but he's always an injury thing. Even Brock Purdy has gotten a little bit of an injury bug here and there. I just almost feel like the 49ers have been cursed with these things.
Well, there's a substation right there, MJ.
There's a substation.
You don't know this?
Wait,
you haven't been in on this?
No, I don't think so. Tell me.
There's an electrical substation right next to their practice facility and not far from the stadium, but right next to the practice facility. And there's all these insane conspiracy theories that I'm kind of almost in on. That the electrical substation is putting off certain waves that it's emitting that are weakening tendons. And then they've got these pictures of it, and there's this lone tree that's completely dead next to it that's then been cut down and
whoa.
There's no way I can ever explain it well, but
I'm gonna have to look into this.
I'm almost in on it. I am real close to being it's the damn substation. That's a thing. And then they've just been massively injured for years.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of ligament stuff too.
I'm gonna have to dive into this.
I love that kind of
shit. But, like, I don't know, man. It just feels like, has the first domino already fallen? Like, you get the Ricky Pearsall news. He's out for the season, right? And then all of a sudden, Christian McCaffrey's got some soft tissue stuff going on. So he's been kind of sitting out of practices a little bit more often than not. You got George Kittle kind of still a little banged up, resting a little bit. Like, Drake Greenlaw has had an injury history. Like, to me, it's like that first domino is already starting to fall for me. I trust Shanahan to keep this team afloat. I really do. Because every year that you think they're going to suck because half their team's hurt, they still find ways to win 10, 11 games somehow. I have them finishing 9-8.
Okay.
I'm just worried about the schedule being pretty tough. They're going to beat some really good teams. They're going to lose to some bad ones. It just feels like a weird, like 50-50 team for me, where they're going to win some, they're going to lose some. And 9-8 feels right for me for the 49ers this year. Ugh.
So here's one. In 19 games, Christian McCaffrey played last year. All 19 games that the 49ers played. 450 touches.
Yep.
In 2023, when they went to the Super Bowl, 410. So even more than that year when he played also 19 games. He missed one game during the regular season. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure there's stats on, guys with consecutive years over 400 touches of like injuries.
He did have the year in between with the injury. Yeah. So at this point in his career, it's like played all 16 games the first 3 years. The next 2 he didn't. Then he played 17 games, 16 games, back down to 4 and 24, all 17 last year with 2 in the playoffs. So, like, you're kind of rolling the dice with, like, what you're going to get out. When he's out there, he's electric.
To me, I think it all comes down to if you pick 2 players on the defensive side of the ball of like true value, whether it's Fred Warner, Javon Hargrave, Nick Bosa, Dre Greenlaw, whoever. You take 4 or 5 names on the defense. If 2 of them get hurt, and then you do the same thing, I know these are all big ifs, so somebody's probably going to be calling me a jackass for saying all this. But then you pick let's say, 1 name, maybe 2 names on the offensive side. Trent Williams, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, George Kittle. That's 5. You just take out one of them. I think it's even more significant for this team than most. 1 to 3 or 4 of those guys getting hurt, to me, ends their chances of making a deep playoff run. So
it feels like this team's got you talk about depth a lot. It feels like there's just not as much depth there. Yeah. Like up front, like they're starting their first 22. God,
excellent.
Damn.
Yes.
But it's like you start peeling them off, and there's history of these guys. Like even Mike Evans, a guy with no injury history, he's coming off an injury.
Yep. And now he's
McCaffrey,
older.
Kittle, Purdy, Bosa, Greenlaw, Warner, like Trent Williams. Like you add up the guys that have injury history, like.
And those are some names, Wally.
Yeah.
Like those are all pro players right there.
Yep.
Most of them. And I worry. But I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because of that and Shanahan. Mm-hmm. Like those factors.
I mean, Shanahan's an awesome coach.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that didn't the 49ers literally tweet a picture of him superimposed over Mitch McConnell's wife, or in the hospital superimposed next to Mitch McConnell's wife?
I don't know.
I know that was floating around. I don't know if the 49ers actually like shared that tweet as well, though.
Oh, geez.
But there was definitely a picture like after the car accident that we never got any details about. Totally normal.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, "Oh, he's fine," and they put a picture of Shanahan sitting in a hotel or not a hospital bed, and Mitch McConnell's wife is standing next to him. Then they just squeezed him into that picture.
Dude,
he's like, "Oh, everything's fine."
Little pettiness, a little petty. I love it. Okay,
Now you got choices. Yeah,
I do. I got to go with Seattle here.
Okay.
I'm going with Seattle. I think repeating as division champs is very doable, right? They won the division last year.
Yep, 14-3.
I think the defense could be now. It was an elite defense last season. The physicality in which, but they've lost some guys. Reek Woolen, the Mafe, Kobe Bryant, like they've lost some depth pieces to me where I don't know if this defense is going to be that this year. DeMarcus Lawrence, I think, might be retiring after this kind of like his last ride type of thing. Like they're getting a little older in some spots, but like I think the defense is going to be excellent. Some people have concerns over the Clint Kubiak thing without him gone. How's this offense? Is the offense still going to be relatively? I'm not too worried. I'm not putting too many eggs in that basket of like, oh, Seattle's all of a sudden just going to be bad now on offense. Like they got some dudes. Like
and their offensive coordinator is a guy who worked for Shanahan.
Yeah.
So like,
I think there's going to be a lot of good there. So, the running back room, I think, took a hit maybe, but I think Jadarian Price, the rookie from Notre Dame, and the Helani kid has been playing well in preseason.
Kenneth Walker was an absolute stud for them last year, and him being over with the Chiefs. I don't know if we mentioned that with them, but like that's a big get for the Chiefs and a big loss for these guys, I think.
And they still have, actually, like Jackson Smith and Jigba is just unreal. Cooper Kupp is still valuable. And I
greatest pickup ever in fantasy football. I got Jackson Smith and Jigba for like $4 in a fantasy draft.
Last year?
Draft. Not last year, 2 years ago. So
that's a good one.
Maybe it was like 5 or 6, whatever it was. I'm keeping it for like $15 or $16 this year.
Yeah.
It's like he's a $45 auction guy. And
Hell
yeah. I got him for 17. I'm like, I got him forever.
Dude, and I like the Rashid Shaheed. It's Shaheed. I like that addition to this team. It gives them another deep threat with kind of Cooper Kupp doing like the in and outs. Jackson Smith and Jigba can kind of do it all.
Anything, yeah.
But Shaheed gives them like another, deep threat here. Their tight end room is good. Their offensive line is really, really solid. They're still going to be really good on defense. I have them win 11 games, so I'm not saying that they're bad. To me, they make the playoffs in my projections. It's hard to ignore my number one team in this division. Yep. It really, really is.
I do got to say, like, Sam Darnold was absolutely fantastic last year.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, really.
Yeah.
Does that keep up?
Yeah.
That is a question. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, he's 100% regressing. Because like you said, it's been 2 years where he's vastly improved over anything he's ever done in his life. He was stuck in New York to start his career, which was...
just real quick, I understand none of these people listening are going to be able to hear any noises that are happening inside of my home. I have an 11 and an 8-year-old. You would think they both weighed 400 pounds each the way they walk in this house. I can walk down these stairs to my basement or upstairs. I sound like the lightest person in the home. I'm the heaviest person in the home. I just don't understand it. Sorry, go ahead.
Just two itty bitty babies. What's it? Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Yes, he started with his career with the Jets, and then he was in Carolina, which was a dumpster fire at the time too. Yep. So like maybe it was just all bad circumstance. And like when he finally got to a situation where it worked for him, and the Vikings have to be kicking themselves right now. You would have to imagine that they got rid of him. Then he went out and just balled out again. Back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons. Like, probably even played better in Minneapolis than he did in Seattle.
Yeah. A little bit of a turnover problem at times, but...
Same amount. Actually threw more interceptions in Seattle.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
So it's like... But all that, like, said, like we just mentioned, like, he's thrown double-digit interceptions every year of his career. Like, that has not changed. Like, I do, like... I'm rooting for him because I like the story. He seems to be, by all accounts, a nice guy, but like I'm cautious.
Yeah.
Like we've seen this happen before with like people where like they come on, they have some great years, and then it's like, okay, they're gone. It's done. And it's not like he's not old by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not super young. Like he's 29 now. So like this is like the prime of his career, but it's like maybe he has found his stride. Maybe something happens. Maybe there's an injury, but I don't know. I'm cautious. I'm not ready to just jump on the Sam Darnold bandwagon and be like, this guy's a top 10 quarterback.
They won 14 games last year, if I remember right. Man, like
back-to-back 14-win years for him.
Yeah. So to me, like me having them at 11-6 or whatever, I think's fair. I just think there's going to be I think there's just going to be a little bit more of like those growing pain games where maybe it's a little bit more heavy on Sam Darnold, whether maybe the running game isn't going, or, maybe the defense does have a little bit of I don't want to say come back to earth, because I still think they're going to be great on the defensive side of the ball. And playing in Seattle is different too. Like they have a great home field advantage. But I think there's going to be some opportunities with the teams that they're playing on their schedule. Like to me, them losing 4, 5, 6 games this year, I think is realistic. And I still think if they make the playoffs as the 5th or 6th seed, this is a dangerous 5th or 6th seed. It really is, to win 11 and 12 games in this division and in the NFC. Like that's a scary team to play.
Yep. All right. Then the Los Angeles Rams, everybody's favorites to start the year.
Yep.
I'll give you a quick stat. 3 of the past 10 preseason favorites have ended up winning the Super Bowl. 3 of 10. That's
actually not bad.
No.
30%? That's not bad.
But like the way the article I read posted was like only 3 of the last 10. I'm like, oh, NFL? 3 of 10? Like that?
Yeah.
Like it's not, you don't like look at it and be like, oh damn, that's the best, that's where you want to be, but it's like it's not bad. The NFL is a weird league, man.
Yeah, it can change so fast with injuries and just all of a sudden a quarterback that looked like he was going to be on the trajectory to be a Hall of Famer just shits the bed and can't play anymore. There's so many factors. Like with the Rams, man, like I get it. They're favorites to win the whole thing. But it's really hard to ignore the star power and depth that they have in some of these positions. Just like the elite wide receivers that they have when healthy, and Nakua and Tez's stuff, whatever. We'll keep we'll just keep it on the field. A little bit of an injury history, and Devontae Adams is getting older, but still really, really good. They have 2 or 3 really good running backs, like Kyron Williams, Blake Corum. Are no joke. And even, I think it's Ronnie Rivers is their 3rd string guy. He's shown.
Let me pose a question to you. I saw this the other day on Twitter somewhere. Someone stated that while they've played with Matt Stafford, Devonta Adams is the 4th best receiver he's ever thrown to. Which is mind-blowing.
Wow.
But start to put it together, and you're like, oh.
Calvin Johnson.
Yep.
I mean, are they saying Puka's better than him?
Puka and Cooper Kupp. When you think about when they played with him, like those 2-3 year stretches that Cooper Kupp had were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Puka's been phenomenal. Calvin Johnson was out of this world.
Yeah.
And we're getting, late career Devontae Adams here. Like, I read that and I was like, oh, shut up. Devontae Adams is unbelievable. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's actually a way more reasonable take than it sounds
like you saying when they played with Stafford changes it.
Because obviously Devontae Adams' whole career is better than Puka. It's better than Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
But and then you got to say to yourself,
peak for peak, it'd be closer to. Yeah.
And then you got to say to yourself, though, okay, well, is that maybe a cause of Matt Stafford? Does Matt Stafford, help facilitate those great things?
Yeah. It's fair. Well, and that was going to be my next person that I brought up after the running back room. You got a Hall of Fame quarterback. You have 2 really good starters in your tight end room.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a pretty solid offensive line. And I haven't even gotten to Myles Garrett on the defensive side of the ball. Byron Young, Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Josiah Stewart. You might not even know who those guys are. But if you're listening to this and you're like, who the hell are these guys? 3 of those guys are going to play limited snaps in certain situations. They'd be starters on most teams in this league. And I'm not saying some teams, most teams in this league on the defensive line. They're backups, and that's who you have. Let alone if and when Aaron Donald comes back.
I am 100%, maybe not 100, 99%. I have that he finds a way onto this team this year.
And then you can be like, well, Matt, their secondary was so bad last year.
Oh, here comes McDuffie.
Here comes Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. And not only I'm not saying those guys are like Deion Sanders or Darrelle Revis in his prime. I'm not saying that. But I will say corners look a lot better when you're pressuring the football and the team can't run. Mm-hmm. And if you're telling me Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald and all these dudes are coming after you and they're stopping the run and that's helping Watson and McDuffie back there. That's what that's doing. And they're already above average to really good corners in the league. It's really hard for me to look at this team and be like, they can't win 12 or 13 games.
Yeah.
And I know their schedule's tough. They're playing Seattle twice and, San Francisco always plays them hard. And, they were in weird games last year where you're like, the Rams lost and stuff. And they sometimes play down to opponents when maybe they shouldn't. But if this team can't win this division this year, this is like the Miami Heat in 2013 or whatever that was. They got dudes all over the place. So it's hard for me to be like, I'm not going to pick them to at least win this division. The only thing that I'm worried about, obviously, is health. If Nakua is out for an extended period of time or some defensive players get hurt. And then the biggest one is if Stafford were to somehow get banged up. Because then you're looking at a rookie and Ty Simpson or something like that.
Which was also so interesting.
Yeah.
I mean.
But what would happen, Wally? Stafford goes down week 3, high ankle sprain or something, right? And he's out for 2 months. And Ty Simpson comes in and plays really well. Maybe they win, I don't know, if they have let's say 7 games. They win 3 of them. 3 and 4 over a stretch. Stafford comes back. That's good enough. Now, then they can get back into the flow of things or whatever. So, it's almost genius taking Ty Simpson. If Ty Simpson's what they think he can be in Los Angeles. It's the Packers
move. It's the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love.
Yep.
We're drafting the best time to pick a quarterback's when you don't need one.
Yep. Well, and what do they say? Isn't there a saying you're only as good as your backup quarterback or something?
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know. But who knows? Maybe he has to come in for a few games and maybe he's good enough. And I'm not saying he's going to take Stafford's job, but man, they're just really good at every level. And I can't stay away from it.
It's the benefit you're awarded to make a pick like that when you have the rest of your shit in line.
Yeah.
And the Rams are the kings of the cap makes no sense, and I don't understand how any of this works and how they can do it, but the cap's completely bullshit, and you just flex it around however you want. And they just set up, a super team.
Yeah.
Damn. Dream team. Vince Young.
Damn. Oh man, it's weird. This is a team that you would put together on Madden.
Yeah.
And before you started your franchise, you turned salary cap off.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm just going to go get Myles Garrett from the Browns.
Yeah, I'm just going to force that trade.
Force trade. Yeah. We'll just give him Jared Verse as a thank you to, what, it's just, it's tough. But who knows? The NFL's weird, man.
Yeah.
NFL's weird.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if they went 9-8 and missed the playoffs, you'd be like, well, Shit happens in the NFL.
But I do have them. I didn't think I said this. 12-5, I think, could win this division.
They do have a wild schedule. I mean, on top of all the teams in their division that they're playing twice, at Philly, Buffalo comes to town, Green Bay. There was a couple other teams on here.
Dallas,
Chiefs,
is in there.
Dallas. Like, they're playing some teams.
Yeah. I still think they're better than all the ones you listed.
I do too.
If they lose, I just think it's because they have an off night.
Yeah.
Maybe a bad bounce here and there.
And one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Yeah. You're right. Not my favorite, but he's really good.
Yeah.
That was anticlimactic of a pick for the AFC or the NFC West, but
I don't know how you don't make the pick though. Like, I mean, a team that was what, 12-5 last year?
I believe so.
Yeah, 12-5 in the NFC Championship game, and then you add Myles Garrett.
Oh, and maybe Aaron Donald.
Myles Garrett is so good.
Yeah, I've said this before, maybe on this podcast, like in previous years. I think Myles Garrett is the best player that I've ever watched in at least the last 20 years on the defensive side of the ball. And that includes J.J. Watt. That includes some dudes.
Yeah, I mean, you could make that argument.
I think he just got a little bit, I don't even want to say disrespected because he was in Cleveland for so long.
I think you just forget about him.
Because they weren't relevant.
Yep.
I think
it's like, oh, yeah, Myles Garrett, another sack. It's like, okay, here come the Browns offense. Oh, 3 and out.
Imagine how we would talk about him if he was a Ram for his whole career or an Eagle for his whole career or a Patriot or I don't know, Chief. God forbid.
Any team that wins a little bit?
Yeah.
Like just a little bit.
He would be in that spotlight so much more. Like, I've just never seen somebody, I shouldn't say ever, but he's in a short list to me as one of the best football players on the defensive side of the ball that I've seen in my lifetime watching football.
Yeah.
And I would throw names like, like a Ray Lewis back in like the early 2000s in that conversation, a J.J. Watt in like the late, 2000s, 2010s. There's been some guys that are in that conversation. I'm not, trying to disrespect anybody, but Myles Garrett is built very, very different.
Yeah. And the Browns, when he's been on the team, have had 2 winning seasons. They went 0-16, 3-14, 5-12 as well.
You imagine those Browns teams without Myles Garrett? Like all-time worst teams ever, probably.
I mean, there were a couple of these games last year that it was just like, oh, Myles Garrett won them that game.
Yes.
Which is absurd.
Think of it this way. Like, you name the other pass rushers in the league right now, the last 8 to 10 years. So you got your Micah Parsons, you got your TJ Watts, and your maybe an Aiden Hutchinson, and those guys are in that conversation, right? Myles Garrett does it year after year after year. There's not this laundry list of injuries. There's not this list of he can't stop the run. He's only a pass rusher. Well, he can only pass rush, or he can't pass rush, but he's an elite run stopper. He does everything. And if you don't game plan for him, he's going to wreck your team's offense. And that to me is just the consistency that he's done it is incredible for a bad team. A bad team.
Very bad.
And now he's on a really good one.
Really good.
Yeah. And he's the best player on that team to me. But that's just my opinion.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think the only other argument is Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
That's just the quarterback carries such a heavy value.
We did it.
Well, MJ, we did it again.
We did it.
We only got one more of these.
That means we're
I'm
close.
both happy and sad.
Yeah, I know. Wait, listen, man. You can have me on at any time during the fall.
You'll be back. Don't worry.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime you're just like, you know what, I want to guess this week. Just call your boy MJ. Just let me know.
We get to watch real football this weekend, too.
Yes. Yeah. Little college coming up. It's a little bit of a down schedule.
Yeah.
But, USC plays. We get Bill Belichick, I think, Saturday at noon, going to TCU.
Yep.
Getting 7.5 points. I've already looked, Wally. I've looked.
Don't worry. Hawaii plays at 7.
That's true.
We got them. We got them on the roster.
I know. I can't wait. And there's more preseason football coming up, and it's wonderful. And we get to go north. We get to go to your boys up in Green Bay.
We do.
Spend some time.
I have lots of things to say.
I can't wait,
some
man.
bad. Plenty of things to say, though.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, little tidbit for the viewers. We are going to record that. We're recording this Sunday. We're recording next week's Monday, so that will be out early. I'm going to save it to post the following week, but just give us some grace if something happens, because I think we did it last year, and then they signed Micah Parsons.
Yeah, we did. Yes, it was like we were we recorded too early.
2 days
we
early.
Had to, and then Micah Parsons, and we never got to really talk about it.
Yeah.
So
just give us some grace if something like that happens again. All right, MJ. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, buddy.
Time for some passing thoughts. I'll just start with this because last night I saw Enos Kanter got kicked out of a WNBA game, and I wanted to say something about but I don't have anything to say other than the WNBA remains the biggest sideshow in the world. They've got a player is going at him on the sideline. Just don't make him the story. I'm almost starting to become on the WNBA side. It's you guys are just so dumb. Just don't do dumb things. Don't go yell at him. If he's there, fine. He's going for the reaction. Just don't be dumb enough to go over there and start screaming at him. Ignore what he's saying. That's all I can say. It's he accomplished exactly what he wanted because he knew these women just couldn't contain themselves. I can't get over how dumb they are. Every time. This should have been a huge win for them. He's going and sitting in the crowd. What are you doing? He's going to look like an idiot, but then you run over there and make the story all about him. Just ignore him and it goes away. Now I'm sitting here. It's you guys just can't stop getting in your own way. It's incredible. It's incredible. All right. As per usual with passing thoughts, when MJ and I have a big long episode, I kind of roll everything into one here. So we're going to talk a little golf. I watched the golf playoff event and I enjoyed it coming down the stretch. Wyndham Clark holds off Rory McIlroy, Patrick Cantlay, and a host of other guys who were kind of around. Just kind of around. But Gary Woodland was around. Colin Morikawa kind of jumped in there late. And Wyndham Clark let them all back in because he got out to a horrendous start. Bogey's the first hole. Bogey's the sixth hole. Bogey's the fifth. But then closes with an absolute gusto on 16. Hit an incredible shot. Hit it to 16 feet. I think Rory, if I'm remembering correctly, actually hit it inside of him on 16. Let me double check this. Yes, just slightly inside. Wyndham hit it to 16 foot 8. Rory hit it to 15.9. So Wyndham putts first, bangs it in. I believe they were tied at that moment, right? Rory ended up finishing at 13. Wyndham finished at 4. Yep, 4 shots all down the stretch. So huge moment from Wyndham, who looked a little shaky, to say the least, coming down the stretch. Then Wyndham makes just a very nice birdie on 17, the par 5, after being in the left rough, laid it up, knocked it on, made probably a 20-some footer. 13 feet. Okay, it was closer than I thought. Meanwhile, this is where Rory lost the tournament. He's only one back. It's a par 5. You got to think he's going to be able to go get something. He drives it into the bunker, drives it over the bunker on the fairway. Sorry, drives it over the bunker on the fairway, but he's in the rough. Sorry, Wyndham was in the bunker, laid up, got in trouble. Rory out of the rough, lays it up into the bunker. From there, kind of chunks one up into the next bunker. After that, hits it out to 20 feet, does not make that putt, makes bogey. Just a horrendous layup led to a bad shot, and then just bad all around. His second shot that ended up in the further up fairway bunker is where he's going to look back at this and be like, that one cost me. That one cost me bad. And then Wyndham makes birdie on 18. It was 2 putts to win it, and he just poured it in from 17 feet. Just phenomenal play down the stretch from Wyndham. Pat Cantlay, who I think was right almost on the number. Yeah, he was outside. He was 43rd in the FedEx Cup, so needed a good day. Up and down day for Pat Cantlay. Had things, start out bad. Bogeys 2, gets a couple birdies. Bogeys 6, he's even. Birdies 7 and 8. Bogeys 9. Birdies 10. Doubles 11. Bunch of pars. Bogeys 15. It's like he's completely done. Makes a big boy birdie on 16. Birdies 17. Birdies 18. Gets it in at 2 under. Climbs up 24 spots in the FedEx Cup. And Pat Cantlay, the FedEx Cup money goblin, lives to fight another day. Gary Woodland going back to the Tour Championship for the first time, and I think he said since 2019, probably the year he won the U.S. Open. Flies up 13 spots himself, was on the cut line, was 31st coming in, so just on the outside looking in. He gets a nice kind of present for his comeback since the brain surgery. Robert McIntyre slides from outside back up into the Tour Championship. Matt McNeely moves up, can't move up enough. Let me see how everybody did who started kind of on the line. All right, Ryan Fox actually plays a bad, just shoots 71 on the weekend. Falls 5 spots, but stays at number 30 and stays in. Ricky Fowler starts the week at 30. He falls out, shooting just 1 under. Bud Colley was 29th. He falls out after shooting 1 over. Kurt Kitayama, after an opening 72, that's 2 over, shoots 3 consecutive rounds of 68. It is not enough for him. He falls out. He goes from 28th to 31st and just slip and slides his way right on out of the Tour Championship. Tom Kim, 26th down to 29th, stays in. We mentioned Gary Woodland, 31st up to 18th. Robert McIntyre, 36th up to 25th. And then Pat Cantlay, 43rd up to 19th. So that's everybody who made a move in any direction, in or out of the Tour Championship next week. Scotty apparently had hand, foot, and mouth disease and was playing. Like, I thought that shit was contagious and you shouldn't be out there. But shockingly, he didn't move anywhere. 72, 65, 68, 68. So he thought he could play a little better on that first day, and turns out it didn't quite work out in his favor. I may have been a little quick to write off my Cleveland Guardians after a series win over the San Francisco Giants, despite Parker Messick pitching in another game where he allowed 2 or less earned runs. He allowed 1 earned run in 6 2/3, struck out 10. Guardians lose 1-0. But beyond that, they win 2 or 3 from the Giants, then go out to Colorado and beat up on the Rockies 9-1, 4-3, 7-2, win 5 of the last 6, 4 in a row. All of a sudden, only 3.5 back of the White Sox, tied with the Rangers for the final wild card spot. It looks like they do not have the tiebreak there, though. All of a sudden, there's a hope. This next stretch, playing the Angels, not very good. The Angels are second to last in the American League West. They are 52-79. Gettable games there. Then they have the Royals, the last place team in the AL Central, 58-74. After that, it's the Blue Jays, 4th place team in the AL East. Granted, the AL East is a very good division, 64-68, similar team. Then the Tigers, not great, 61-69. Okay. Then the Orioles, last place team in the AL East, 63-68. Again, last place team in the AL East is grading on a curve. They'd be the third best team in the AL Central, if not better, probably with the schedule. Then they get Twins. They get the White Sox. Then they have the Athletics after that, who are, again, the last place team in the AL West. I think they might have the worst record in all of the AL, and it might be the worst record in all of baseball, second only to the Rockies. They do finish with they do have the Red Sox in the second to last outing of the year, but then they get the Royals again. All that to be said, the schedule is now gettable for the remainder of the season. It's happening. Like there's a chance that it's not happening. There's a chance that this could happen. It is lined up right for Cleveland to do this thing. Gotta find a way to put some runs on the board. I mean, Parker Messick, I think I saw stats like 7 or 8 times this year, 2 or less runs, and he's lost like 7 times when that's happened. Like, just can't have that happen. So no game Monday evening for the Guards. They go Tuesday. There is a game. I'm looking at it wrong. It's later. That's why I was like, it should be starting about now as I'm doing this. It's later. They're out on the West Coast. Doesn't start till 8:30 my time. It's before 8:30 here. I don't do this that late. So they go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then off Thursday. And then they go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then off Monday. So gettable. Let's stay in baseball because it's complicated and I don't even know how to explain it correctly. I've got like the understanding of it in my head. And I've like looked into it. I've tried to like wrap my head around how I could explain it. And I just broke down and had ChatGPT explain it to me like I'm a 12-year-old. So Mark Walters owns a bunch of businesses. Some of them are insurance companies that does a lot of life insurance. And he's then they've loaned money from that life insurance out to his other businesses. There is a rule that states you're only allowed to do that with $1 billion in party-related loans. An internal review revealed it was something in the neighborhood of $21 billion, overshooting that by 20-some billion dollars. A lot of rules around what you have to do with policyholder money with insurance. Certain amounts need to be reinvested. Certain amounts need to be kept in a reserve to pay claims, yada, yada, yada. This all starts to get weird because then those loans have then funded in a way like the TV contracts by like bolstering up the companies that do the TV deals, which then in turn gives the Dodgers more money because the TV deals look larger, thus allowing the Dodgers. And again, it's weird because in the MLB, there's no like big revenue share. So like individual team TV deals really do mean a lot, which has allowed them to then invest a lot into the roster, much of which is still deferred. So it's just all really weird. There was this all of a sudden a couple weeks ago, he sold the LA Lakers. He was also a big, large owner in that for like $12.5 billion. And I think that say it's going to net him about $8 billion. So it's like, where's he coming up with this other $12 billion? And, it's weird. It's dicey. It's sketchy. And now you wonder, like, how does this, how does this benefit either side in the upcoming labor dispute that we got coming? That's really starting, everyone thinks is threatening the 2027 MLB season. Is this going to be like, this is the exact reason we need a cap? Or is someone going to be able to argue like, no, we still don't need a cap. This thing we got worried about shouldn't have been allowed to happen, that other entities, the SEC and the U.S. Attorney's Office and the government should have been all over this to prevent this from happening. Without this, they couldn't have spent like this and done these things. So this is making it seem like there's more of a gap than there is. It's messy. It's disaster. It's not what you want the baseball, like, it's not what you want your thing to be talking about. So weird, just weird all around, hard to explain, kind of hard to wrap your head around. I think I've got an understanding of it. I probably explained it like I'm an absolute idiot. Here's what ChatGPT says, explain it to me like a 12-year-old. Imagine Mark Walters owns a bunch of businesses. Mark Walter, I think it's just Mark Walter, doesn't just own the Dodgers. He controls a big business empire that includes life insurance companies and other investments / business ventures. Now imagine you own an insurance company. Thousands of people give you money for insurance policies. You can't just do whatever you want with that money. You have to reinvest it responsibly so you'll have enough money to pay customers later. Here's where things get interesting. Imagine Walter's insurance company has $100 in its piggy bank. Walter essentially says, I'll take some of that $100 and lend it to another business. Perfectly normal. But the business borrowing the money is also controlled by Walter. Now he's effectively doing something like this. Walter's insurance company lends money to Walter's other companies. That's a lot. That's called a related party or affiliated transaction. It isn't automatically illegal, but regulators care a lot about it because Walter is essentially sitting on both sides of the table. Here's the alleged problem. Okay, this is too much. Explain it like it's just doing the same thing. Fucking AI. Okay. Anyway, we got NFL players this week asking to be cut so they can go back to college, and it's gonna happen apparently. What a disaster. College football is in a really, 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 really bad place. You can't be allowing people who got to the NFL to come back to college and then saying, oh, I didn't know we were going to be allowed a fifth year. There shouldn't be fifth years. You should get 4, unless you're redshirted, medical redshirt, something like that. Very few exceptions. No more COVID bullshit. Like the COVID bullshit just really, it just exploded. It just, it's a disaster. College sports are a disaster. Disaster. NIL was supposed to be name, image, likeness, not just getting paid to play. Like, I think everybody not everybody, but most people agree that if you sell a jersey, if I'm a college basketball player and you're selling jerseys with my number, even if it doesn't have my name on the back, you know why you're buying it and why you're marketing it, I should get a cut of that. I think that's completely reasonable. Just straight up paying college kids to play college sports, I think we've lost the plot. Like, they're just another level of pro sports. And I don't know. I don't know. It's just gotten out of control. I think name, image, and likeness was the right play. I think it was never figured out correctly, and it's just gotten away from everybody in a hurry. And I'll just end on this. I used to kind of bitch about the post office that, like, it's bad service when you're in there. The people aren't happy. What just happened to my... Okay, I'm still there. My screen just went away. I was like, did it just stop recording? I used to bitch the post office was bad service. People aren't happy. They're terrible customer service. And I was in there today to send some stuff for work. And I kind of start to understand why. Like 4 or 5 people in front of me, 3 of them were just complete dicks. Just like demanding, no please, no thank you, no hey, how does this work? Just I need this. Well, that's too much money for that. What do you mean? Like, oh my God. Like, I try and be polite in all aspects of my life, especially when I'm dealing with people who are providing me some sort of service, even if they're not, bright and cheery back to me. Man, I'm going to be nice to the post office people. I see why going postal was a thing. Like, you just listen to people berate you all day. No wonder they're miserable. Miserable. I'd be miserable. All right, let's go close this thing up. Closing time, everybody. As always, just want to say thank you. Appreciate all the support, all the watches, all the listens. Thank you to producer Kevy for helping get us started down this video path out here. Thank you to my guy MJ for another wonderful week of NFL analysis. He's back again for the finale next week, and will surely be back again in the NFL season. I'm back next week. Just a reminder, we're pre-recording the episode for next week, this week. we're basically batch recording stuff here Monday night. So there won't be a whole lot of other stuff. There's a great NFL preview coming, so definitely check it out. Just won't be a whole lot of anything else on there. So till then, peace.